a minute, it worked. I didn't get the red square. I think it worked. I think it's possible we are live with Allison running the live show. Can you see me? Can you hear me? See, you're live. Yes, you're live. Yay, it worked. All right. Well, Alan says I got to do roll call first, so I will do that. I'll get that taken care of. We've got Alan and Seamus, the new U.S. citizen. Congratulations, Seamus. And Kevin and Jason and Fallon and Frank. John is back from whatever it was he was doing. And Sandy and Michael. And I think I saw Rose in there, too. She was here a little while ago. And Jill is here. Let's see. Jill's popping in and out. There she is. All right. So... those tests yesterday did work out. This is my 19-page document that I created with screenshots of all the stuff that I had to do. Luckily, the first 17 pages are kind of pre-work that gets the live show set up. And so Steve did those yesterday. So that one, that helped a lot, I think. And let's see. Oh, let's really risk it. Maybe I shouldn't, but I think I will anyway. I've got... This is Steve's computer running the live show. And the rest of it is being run from my show. So this is my computer. So this is quite complicated. At some point, I'm going to try to send you the screenshot I just took so you can see all of the stuff that goes on Steve's computer. It is banana pants. Let's see. I should probably try doing a test recording here. Let's give it a try. Boy, that does look nice. Mykonos. That's the Greek islands, right? That's cool. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. Make sure we got playback. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. And did you hear that? You did hear playback. All right, good. Okay, well, I think it's working. Even if we lose the live stream, I know how to make it happen again, but it would take me a very long time. So let's fingers crossed that the live stream doesn't fail on us. Steve did teach me how to do it, but that's the first 17 pages of the document. Oh, just stop, John. You're killing us. All right. Jill is in charge of dropping in images when we get to the good parts here. And she's ready to go. She's standing in for Steve on that part. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I guess I don't have to mute Steve, do I? I can pretend to. If anybody doesn't know, he's off camping on Santa Cruz Island. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, September 25th, 2022, and this is show number 907. This week's live show is quite an adventure. Steve and I have been doing the live show for a very long time, but most of that time, I actually ran the live show. It was an awful lot of work to set up and control all that, while also trying to actually produce a podcast. We used to use Google Hangouts on air, and while you could see me, Steve, in Discord, my laptop was doing all of the ingesting of video and audio and pushing it out onto the web on top of doing all of the recording for the podcast. And it seemed like that was kind of a dumb way to do it when Steve had this fancy 27-inch iMac that had much more power than my MacBook Pro, but Google Hangouts on air wouldn't let us push some of this work over to his machine. In April of 2018, we started using the video switching streaming software Mimo Live from Boinx. It's a very complex piece of software, but it's highly capable and configurable. And most importantly, Steve can run the live show from his computer, freeing me up to be the on-air talent. Anyway, that's been great for the last 4.5 years. But what happens if Steve decides to go camping and he leaves me alone at home on a Sunday night? Well, we could have bailed on the live show easily enough, but I hate to disappoint. And I love the live show audience. They're so fun. But instead, I'm wearing both hats. I'm doing the producer switcher job and I'm doing the on-air talent job. I've got both of our 14-inch M1 MacBooks Pro on my desk right now. I've got Mimo Live on my Mac. It's ingesting my mics and my audio from my recording software into Mimo Live. and then the video of me and of my recording software, and it's shoving that over our internal network here over to Steve's Mac, which is ingesting it again, and then it's pushing that all out to the live YouTube channel. It's quite an effort here, and so Steve's Mac is doing the heavy lifting, but I had to push the buttons. Steve and I ran a couple of test sessions, and I created a 19-page guide using Folga on how to run his Mac, and it appears that as of right now, it's actually working. The first 17 pages was all set up, and we did do all of that yesterday, so it was only a matter of actually pushing a couple of buttons, and it does seem to be working. I miss him, and hopefully he will be back in just a couple of days, and he's having a blast, so this is kind of fun that I'm able to do this. All right. John, you're supposed to be nice to me today. That was the rules. And Sandy can't be here, so Kevin is in charge of telling people to be nice to me. Thank you. Jill can do that too. Good. All right. So Jill, you are going to be up here. And it's Jill's dumb question. Oh, I should do the chapter mark, shouldn't I? Is that what you were yelling about a minute ago there? Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right. Are you going to help me today? Is it working? Nope. Nope. Ah, not that. Okay, that marker needs to be deleted. Let's try this again. Maybe I did the wrong kind. No. Good grief. Stop that. Delete marker. Okay. Did a chapter. I push the button. I go over to my thing. Copy link. Copy again. It's doing that thing where it breaks itself again. I wish I could figure out why this wasn't working. Well, we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way tonight. Oh, come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now over to this one. Okay. You going through a 3-week withdrawal? I'm sorry to do this on your first day back, but I promise next week you can be a pain in my backside, okay? All right. Oh, dumb question corner music. Almost forgot that. This is kind of fun that I'm able to do this. Okay.
Dumb
Dumb
question.
How come I always have to?
It's time for Dumb Question Corner.
Well, Jill from the North Woods sent in our dumb question for this week. She asked, my friend has 90,000 photos on her current iPhone and is worried about when her new iPhone comes really soon. How can she migrate her phone over without the hours of backup and restore time and still get her photos back? She does have iCloud and does sync the photos with the space-saving feature turned on. Well, this is a great topic and one that is very near and dear to my heart. Just like Jill's friend, I actually have 90,000 photos as well. 90,922 as of right now, to be exact. The short answer is that Jill's friend has nothing to worry about. The long answer requires me to start with some explanation of how this magic happens. I think it's a valuable thing to talk about because I constantly hear people worrying and trying to manage their photos library when they really don't have to. I'm going to go through some fundamentals first, which will be known to some, but I'm certain not to all of you. You can choose to pay no money to Apple for iCloud storage for your photos and videos. While paying no money always sounds like a great starting point, it's important to realize the ramifications of that decision. First of all, you'll have to manually back up your photos. If you don't, and you lose or break your phone, those precious moments you captured of your baby, puppy, or hot fudge sundae are gone forever. Now, backing up isn't hard, and if you're disciplined enough to follow a rigorous schedule to back up your phone, more power to you. But you know what? Most of us don't have the energy or time or personal discipline to do that. Now, I'm not a Windows user, so I can't explain how any of this works on that platform. But on the Mac, you connect the iPhone via a lightning cable, and you'll see it in the left sidebar of any Finder window under Locations. Apple has a dandy support article in which they explain that you can then use the Photos tab in the resulting Finder window to sync photos from your device to your Mac. The second problem you'll have to deal with is manual management of your photos on your phone. If you aren't paying for iCloud storage, I'm guessing you don't want to pay for streaming music services either, so you need space on your phone for your music as well as images and videos and games and everything else. Now, the photos themselves aren't that big, running around 2 megabytes apiece, but those videos add up really quickly. For example, I took a 6-second video today, and it was 42 megabytes. The task at hand becomes figuring out how to remove photos and videos from your phone. All Macs come with a built-in utility called Image Capture. You can find it inside your Applications folder in another folder in there called Utilities. With your phone connected to your Mac, opening Image Capture will show you all of your photos and videos that are on your phone. In Apple's dandy support article about this, they explain that by default, any items you import locally will, by default, remain on your phone. In the Image Capture toolbar, you can select Delete after import instead. That way you can keep your phone clean and tidy. But now you have to decide which photos to keep on your phone. Do you want to delete everything, maybe once a month, and start fresh? Or do you want to keep the photos of your baby golden retriever so you can show her off to your friends when they try to force photos of their grandchildren on you? It's starting to sound like a lot of work, isn't it? Well, I swear I'm not paid by Apple to sell you on iCloud Plus, but I am a true believer. Even if you don't take advantage of some of the privacy features you gain with iCloud Plus, just the advantages of having Apple manage my photos for me is worth every penny. Beyond the storage, you get the ability to hide your email from websites where you register. You can have a custom email domain, and you can even store HomeKit secure video, and those videos do not come out of your iCloud Plus storage allowance. You can share all of these features and the storage with up to 5 other family members. Now, pricing for iCloud Plus varies by country, but in the United States, the pricing is 50 gigabytes for $1 a month, 200 gigabytes for $3 a month, and 2 terabytes for $9.99. Now, Jill's friend and I are on the crazy pants end of things with our giant photos libraries, so we need to pay the $10 a month for 2 terabytes of iCloud Plus. But you know what? Most of the people I talk to kind of fit within that 200 gigabytes of storage. Now, remember that this storage allotment is also used to back up your iPhone and your iPad as well if you have those too. With iCloud Plus, you now have the option to turn on iCloud Photo Library, and Jill's friend has already done this. With it enabled across all of your devices, you can now see all of your photos on your iPhone, Mac, and iPad. You don't have to pick and choose which ones live where. They all live everywhere. Now, if you delete a photo you took of your ingrown toenail for your doctor, you can delete it and it disappears everywhere, and you're not in danger of it showing up in a slideshow on your Apple TV. If you make a crop and adjust the lighting to get just the right feel to your photo of your hot fudge sundae, all of your devices will get this improved image. So far, that's pretty great. But there's another reason to use iCloud Photo Library. On your smaller storage devices, like an iPhone, you can tell iCloud Photo Library to optimize storage. To quote Apple's dandy support article about this feature, they say, with optimized storage, smaller, space-saving photos and videos are kept on your device while all of your original, full-resolution versions are stored in iCloud. And as long as you have enough space in iCloud, you can store as many photos and videos as you want. Okay, do you hear that? Now, they're really not kidding about this. And this is where it's going to get back to Jill's friend's actual question. My 90,000 photos and videos take up 984 gigabytes on my Mac in full resolution. But my iPhone's only 256 gigabytes. On the iPhone, my photos library only takes up 20.72 gigabytes. So 90,000 photos, 21 gigabytes. This means I could bring up scanned-in photos of my mom and dad's wedding in the 1940s, or pictures of Lindsay and Kyle as babies, or photos I took of Tesla this very week, and they're all there all the time. With broadband internet, I never know which ones are downloaded on the fly and which ones were already there in full resolution. I imagine if you have low bandwidth, it would be noticeable, so that might be a reason to go down a different path. I do recommend that on one computer, you do choose to download originals and not use optimized storage everywhere, because that way you can back that computer up to an external drive and maybe even do offsite backups as well of that computer, and you have your full resolution photos stored elsewhere. I do trust Apple up to a point to keep my photos safe, but I will always keep full backups of my own, just in case. Okay, now, what was her question? Oh, right. Jill's friend is getting a new iPhone, and she's worried about hours of backup and restore time. Well, you know what? Her friend has nothing to worry about. I can speak from experience on this, having just transferred all of my data from my older phone, including my 90,000 image photo library, to my new iPhone 14 Pro, and I did not wait hours. In the old days, I used to sync my phone to my Mac and then restore all of that data back to the new phone using a cable to my Mac. It seemed to me that would have to be faster than downloading from iCloud, but for some reason, it takes far longer. I heard John Syracuse on the Accidental Tech podcast telling a story of this week of how he did it the old school restore from the Mac method this year, and the world of hurt having to sign back into everything and tailor things back to the way they were sounded a lot like me describing my nuke and pave process. He had to do a ton of work, and in the end, he erased it all and did it over again the way I do it now. Now, let me take an intermediate step, though. In the most recent past, I've used the restore from iCloud Backup path. And of course, I followed Apple's Dandy support article on that process, and it worked really well. And like I said, it was significantly faster than the cable method to a Mac from a backup. And that might be what Jill's friend is remembering, is the old path of having it back up to your Mac and then pulling it all off of your Mac, and that took forever. But a few years back, when I turned on a new phone, it offered a new option. So this is a third option. The option I favor now is referred to as Quick Start by Apple, but you might also see it called Transfer Directly from iPhone. You get a cool swirly looking thing on the new phone. You point your old phone's camera at the swirly thing, and the two phones make the transfer happen magically. Now, I heard Casey Liss on the Accidental Tech podcast say that both phones will be tied up for anywhere from 1 to 3 hours. I don't know what was going on with his phone, but that is not at all true for me. That's not what happened for me. It might have taken maybe a half hour at most. And after that, the new phone was usable while it continued to download applications from the internet. So that transfer of data goes between the two phones, but you do still download your applications from the internet after that. Now, I didn't look at my photos library during this part of the process, but I know that as soon as I needed to see any photo, it was already there. And you know I ran around taking pictures the minute I got that new camera. Before you start this process, I highly suggest you ensure that iCloud backups are running on the old phone and that you run one final backup before you start. On the old phone, open Settings, tap on your name at the top, select iCloud, and then under Device Backups, make sure that iCloud Backup is turned on. It's usually turned on by default. The day you're going to transfer your data, it's not a bad idea to kind of tap Backup Now so you're certain to have a fresh backup. Then simply turn on the new phone and follow the instructions. Even though I have 90,000 photos on my phone, the process of moving from my previous phone to my new one was absolutely painless. Again, to Jill's friend, you don't need to worry about this. Now, the last thing I want to mention, very much in this context, is that you may not need as much storage on future phones as you think you do. If you open your current phone to Settings, General iPhone Storage, you can see how much of your total storage you're using. I take all of my videos in 4K HDR, and we've mentioned quite a few times how big my photos library is, and yet I'm only using 108 gigabytes of the 256 gigabytes available on my iPhone. Now, I have a theory. I have no evidence to prove this is true, but I bet that if I had a 512 gigabyte iPhone, I'd be using a lot more storage. I'm guessing Apple would take advantage of that breathing room and stretch out a bit and keep a few more things locally. I also wonder whether maybe I could get away with a 128 gigabyte iPhone and Apple would squeeze my 90,000 photos into those skinny jeans, and maybe I would have never known the difference. Now, I keep thinking that these enhanced photographic capabilities will make me need more storage, but because of this magic that is iCloud Photo Library, I still fit quite nicely in the 256 gigabyte model. I want to thank Jill and her friend for this awesome dumb question, and I hope the details behind all of this help some of you make good decisions on how you manage your photos libraries. Whew, there we did it. It took over 8 hours between phones. I don't understand why that was. That is, it'll help you go camping without freaking your friend out. Has anybody else seen it take forever? No, Dave Hamilton suggested that you, he says that it does it creates an ad hoc network. And I didn't know whether to include this or not because I wasn't exactly sure how he dealt with this, but he said that he turns off or he disconnects from the local Wi-Fi before he starts it so that it's not talking to Wi-Fi, so they're talking to each other. But at some point, it's got to talk to the internet because it's got to download your applications. So, I mean, I'm serious, Jason. It was like half an hour. I was up and running, ready to go. So was Steve. So, good. I'm glad that answered her question, Jill. All righty. What is next on my agenda here, Jill? Oh, I saw a typo. Wonder where that is. Somewhere in there it was supposed to say of, and instead it said O. Fine. Space O. Space O. There it is. Take advantage of. All right, I saw another typo, but that's close enough. I'm going to stick with that one. All righty, new chapter. Can't believe this is working. 90 minutes the last time you migrated. Huh. Well, it's good that we have different options. Oh, let's see. I'm going to do a little quick bit, and then I will do my chapter mark. All right, next up, let's hear from Ryan Winkler, also known as Dopey One, in the live chat room. Actually, let me do that again. All right, let's switch gears here, and we're going to hear from Ryan Winkler, also known as Dopey One, in the live chat room and in our Slack at podfeet.com/Slack. This is such a cool, nerdy awesomeness. I love this review. It's called Here Dongle Dongle. Okay. Chapter. All right. I really wanted you. I want to use my thing. Almost worked. Well, I got partway there. I think I'm not supposed to create my own chapter mark first. That was the mistake I made the last time. But let's listen to a little bit of this. In our Slack at podfeet.com/Slack.
Let's start with our problem to be solved. I find myself wanting or needing to use discs of different types, CDs, DVDs, or Blu-rays, on my M1 Mac Mini. This isn't an issue as I have a few USB DVD drives and even 2 USB Blu-ray drives. The issue that I have found is that the slimline DVD or Blu-ray drives, even the one that I have that is made by Apple, are okay at reading discs but not great. I'm not sure why this is the case, but many of the newer Blu-ray drives that I have do not even read CDs very well. For example, I have been working with some CDs recently that have been used over the years, so they're not perfect. They have scratches or blemishes on them. I cannot blame the CDs. It's not the CD's fault that they've been used and now have some blemishes. I too am a few years older and have more blemishes than I once did. Using these blemished discs in the USB slim laptop style drives that I have has been interesting to say the least. The drives try to read the discs, but sometimes skip, or even the drives may give up altogether on trying to even read the discs, sometimes causing the application that I'm using or even the computer to stop being responsive. I think that this requires more testing. As I've stated, the blemished discs just do not read well in the slimline laptop style USB DVD or newer Blu-ray drives that I have. I do have some older external full-size DVD and Blu-ray drives. I actually have 4 or 5 of them, and using 1 or 2 of them to conduct some testing, I found that these older full-size drives actually read many of the blemished discs without any issue at all, which is much better than the newer drives that I have. Now looking at each of these old drives, they obviously have a data cable, so each drive would or could be connected to the M1 Mac Mini if I want to use USB, and that was fine for my testing, but the drives have the following connections. The Blu-ray drive that I would like to use has USB 3 and Firewire 800. DVD 1 drive is USB 2 and Firewire, and DVD 2 is Firewire only. Did you notice the common interface that all of these older devices have? Have any of you used USB CD or DVD drives and then used them plugged into a Firewire or Firewire 800 port? I guess what I should be asking is how many of you even remember Firewire, Firewire 800, or even remember using it? Well, I do. I have to admit that I did lots of testing and comparing external devices using USB and Firewire as well as Firewire 800. As you may or may not recall, Firewire devices used to cost more than USB devices back in the day. Do any of you know why that was? Well, part of the extra cost was due to the Firewire chipset that was used in the device. Unlike USB devices that would use your system CPU in your computer for processing the data, Firewire devices used minimal computer CPU because they had some processing capability built into the Firewire chipset. The other neat thing about Firewire was its ability to daisy chain Firewire devices. Now this didn't work well for those of you who used Firewire on Windows computers, but it worked very well on Mac computers. At one time I had 4 external hard drives and 3 external DVD drives all plugged into my old Mac Mini using one Firewire 800 cable connection. It worked flawlessly for me for years, and it was quite fast. It actually tested faster for me than when I plugged in the USB 3 drive when I was copying large files. The Firewire connection was also bidirectional, meaning that I could both read and write files from different devices.
I'm actually going to stop this because I want to test this theory, Jason. Because if you've got you bought a 1 terabyte, but probably because you're afraid of running out of space, because it looks like you're using up a lot of space. But I think you're using up a lot of space because you have a lot of space. That's going to be that was my theory. So you've got 43,000 photos. So it's just a little under half of what I've got. So I'm really curious how much storage just the photos by themselves are taking up. Do 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 do. Is he looking? Oh no, bad back and bad knee, huh? Oh, you're looking. Yeah, I think, where did I say that was? Yeah, it's in Settings, General, iPhone Storage. I want to know if this theory is true. Because I'm betting Photos is taking up a lot more than 20 gigabytes. The excitement is palpable. I'm still waiting. I don't want to start recording. Okay, there we go. Yep, look at that, 500 gigabytes. Have you, well, here's a question. Have you been taking, how much of that is raw? Well, it wouldn't even matter because it doesn't store the full size images. Yeah, the bigger phone you buy, the more it takes up. Interesting. 500 gigabytes. That's amazing. Backups. What is backups? 270 gig of backups on your phone? What the heck is that? Huh. I haven't ever heard of that, Jason. Can't think what backups those would be. What are you backing? You backing up your iPad, your iPhone? Actually, now I need to move this and insert it after this. All right, let's switch gears. By model. I want to thank Jill. All right. Oh, I'm going to have to move that. Make sure. Wait, this just in. In the live chat room, Jason showed a screenshot of how many photos he has and how much storage he's taking on his iPhone Pro Max. And he's got half as many photos as I do. He's got 43,000 photos. And guess what? It's taking up 500 gigabytes on his phone. So I think my theory might have something something valid to go in there. So he's bought a 1 terabyte phone, and it's using more than, I'm bad at math or arithmetic there, but whatever, 20 times 500 divided by 2, whatever, it's using up an awful lot more storage than it probably needs to. So that's really interesting. The bigger your phone, the more phone you need. So anyway, glad to have that theory validated. All right. Let's see, Kevin's going to give us a data point here. Photos, 140 gigabytes. And how much, so you've backed up phones and iPads to your phone. I have no idea how you, I don't even, is that normal? Am I just forgetting that you can back up a phone to another phone? Kevin, how many, yeah, how many photos is that 140 gigabytes is the question. So that gets back to the other screen. Oh, what just happened? Uh-oh, I just did that thing where I make all the screens disappear. Discord, there's that. There we go. All right, bye, Fallon. All right, let me check and make sure I didn't mess this up now. That theory validated. All right, let's switch gears here, and we're going to hear. Okay.
A dongle, or in my case, multi-dongle world. And last of all, I would like to encourage you all to stay subscribed.
Well, thank you so much for this, Ryan. This was really, really interesting. Now, when Ryan first sent this, he was kind of saying, oh, you know, you've kind of talked about doing this kind of dongle dance before when you worked on the old TiVo that you had and had to do the same kind of thing. So maybe that's repetitive and maybe people don't care about this kind of thing. But these very exact kind of questions have been asked in the last week by a couple of different people to me. So even if you don't need to do this right now, the story is certainly very entertaining. And if you get a chance to look at the blog post that he wrote, I highly recommend it because it's filled with images. He's got pictures of the OWC hub, and he's got a fantastic diagram at the end of the Frankenstein he created. It's just fabulous. I think it's really fun. So thanks again, Ryan, for doing this. This was really, really great. 3,800 photos. Oh, and 200 videos. So there's a lot more video. Well, I forget how many videos I had. Yeah, that's interesting. I still think do you think guys think I'm onto something here? Uh-oh. Nope. That just switched. It's never going to work. That's too much time. Ooh, it waited for me. But it didn't do the copy the thing. You have backups too. What? How is that happening? Maybe I have backups too. Okay, I got to go look. This is getting my curiosity up. All right, so where we're going? We're going into iPhone storage, right? With settings. Where was iPhone storage? Now I can't remember. It was in general, right? Yeah, there we go. iPhone storage. So I'm still only using 107 gig of 256 gig. Yeah, I don't have any backups. Can anybody explain that? I've got a gazillion apps on here. Huh. On iOS itself takes 9.52 gigabytes. That's interesting. If you go all the way to the bottom, you can see that. Alrighty. Let's do a quick ad. There's a podcast I really like. It's around 14 minutes long. It starts with a 2-minute pre-roll ad, and then they run a second ad in the middle of the episode. Now, the content's fantastic, but 28% of the show's length is ads. I'm proud that the NosillaCast doesn't run ads, and I don't interrupt you for more than 30, 45 seconds in a 1-hour show, or maybe even a longer show. If you like that my shows are ad-free too, please go to podfeet.com/Patreon and choose an amount that shows the value you get from the work we do here at the Podfeet Podcast. No backups on roses. It's iCloud. No, that's not your iCloud backups. That's actually on your phone. All right, he wants another chapter mark. Well, that didn't work. I tried to outsmart it. There we go. All right. Ooh, who's going to help me do my chapter count, too? Ah, he wants to hear a plink. I'll give you a plink. This is a good one.
Blinky blink.
You like that one?
Blinky blink.
That's one of my favorites. All right, let's go find... Oh, we got to have the Security Bits music. Security Bits. Let's put you here. And then let's go find mine. And we'll take that out. And then this one, and we'll take that one out. We'll take out me of him, him of me. No, me of him. Put him of him up there. Get rid of this one. All right, let's hear the real plink. Alan called for a plink.
Blink.
There we go. Let's see. Let's hear how these two sound if I put them about here. Every time you see me do this, I think that's why those curved monitors are good, because I have to translate like this to be able to see the side of my screen. Like to line things up. I'm trying to line up a couple of tracks. All right, let's listen to this. Podfeet Podcasts. Podfeet is not great for non-gamers. So great for gamers, but not for non-gamers? Wonder why. Podfeet Podcasts. Oh, distortion maybe. Yeah. I could see that. Photo editors, I certainly wouldn't think. Well, it's that time of the... Too soon. Too soon. Give it a little more breath there. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for an out-of-band Security Bits with Bart Bouchatz to try to get us back in band. Is that right, Bart?
Not quite. It's 2 weeks since the last one, so we're still in our new band. It's just out of sync with Programming by Stealth's band.
All right, I've lost track of what we're doing, so I'll just show up when you say you can record, so that works for me. And there's some stories I really wanted to hear about this week.
Oh, goody. It's kind of, it's 2 weeks worth of news, but it's in a strange shape, because the main stories has like one story in it that I sort of put there because I felt I couldn't have the section be empty, but even that's probably not the best place for it. Lots of fun stuff, but not in the normal places. I guess the first thing is some follow-ups. We mentioned some time ago that Google...
All right. You know, one thing that didn't get mentioned is there's nobody to bring me a drink here tonight after I'm done with the show as my little reward. All right. Gosh, I might be done early this week.
By repetition. Until next time, stay patched so you stay secure.
Train Tesla. Ed, come on, you live close enough. You could bring me a drink. Come over. I've got some peanut butter whiskey that you left here. And you could make me one of those martinis. What was that? Peanut butter whiskey martini. Oof, that was good. Deadly. Actually, it was an espresso, peanut butter whiskey espresso martini. I'll be there in 52 hours. You know, I started really liking espresso martinis on our vacation to Hawaii. They're the best combination for me of giving me a nice buzz, but also really alert. And I'm just like so excited because I've got an espresso at like 6 at night. I'm very funny on those. I enjoyed those. I found myself doing a headstand the last time I did one, so they were definitely good. All right, here we go. Well, that is going to wind us up for this week. It does look like, unless it happens right as I'm saying goodbye, it looks like I did not crash and burn doing the live show, but I like it a lot better when Steve's here for a lot of reasons. Anyway, did you know you can email me? You can email me dumb questions like Jill did at allison@podfeet.com. If you have a question or a suggestion, just send it on over. You can follow me on Twitter at Podfeet. If you want to join in the friend of the conversation, you heard me mention our Slack community when I was talking about Ryan Winkler. You can talk to him and all the other lovely NosillaCastaways at podfeet.com/Slack. Remember, everything's good starts with podfeet.com. You can support the show at podfeet.com/Patreon. That would be really swell. Or if you'd like to do a one-time donation, those are always welcome at podfeet.com/PayPal. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. That was a quick show, 5:41. Yeah, I had a bunch of stuff written, but then I got the Ryan Winkler story dropped in unexpectedly. That was a nice 11 minutes or so that he dropped in, and then I didn't realize I was going to have a security bits. So I didn't have to do much reading tonight, but I'll be back on it next week. What is my outro music? There it is, outro. Okay, we got to do a chapter count. Jill, can you count the chapters in the blog post and make sure I have enough? I only see 4. Dumb Question Corner, here dongle, 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 support the show, and security bits. I'm more efficient without Steve? Oh, let's not say that. All right, so using check is check. That's true. All right, now let's export. Export. It is good. Yay, that's wonderful. Oh, you'll be gone next week. Okay. Yeah, you need to privately send me exactly when you're gone, because I'll be writing to you going, why isn't she answering me? Oh, I wonder if I can show this. No, it's probably not good enough yet. I made a really, Steve made a cool movie for me of the different zoom levels. I took 4 pictures that have an interesting effect that I want to send out. Can I remove the tape now? Yes, John, I think you are cleared to make fun of me as much as you want. And stay subscribed. Oh yeah, Kevin will come after you for that one, that's for sure. All right, well, I can still do stuff here. Let's see, I can open up Safari and do Auphonic. You want to watch me do the, watch this. This is fun. Let me log in before you see this. How come 1Password sometimes lets you do the command / and then other times it just goes, no, I don't feel like it? When it works, it's a beautiful thing. Oh. That was weird. Safari just closed the window when I logged in. That was really strange. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. All right, so here's what I do. I'm going to choose a preset here, go to NosillaCast. I'm going to choose the file, which will be in NC Audio, and the latest one is M4A. And remember to upload the M4A, not the MP3, which is what I messed up last time, or a couple times ago. And then actually messed up Michael because he was using the Google, what is it just called? Google Play for podcasts, or Google Podcast app? Oh yeah, you got to be nice to Ed. Do you have any fun pictures to show him of you and Steve? You do. You love it, love it, love it. And you're not a gamer. Interesting. Am I using Publish in Hindenburg? Oh, I forgot I can do that. I did that test once and it worked. And then I didn't do it again. Google Podcasts. Yeah. Now, was that on an Android phone or was it on an iPhone? Just out of curiosity. On OnePlus 6. Oh, cool. That's nifty. What game? He says he's not a gamer. Seamus says he's not a gamer. I have talked to people who like those. Okay, so now I have to sit and wait. And now it's time to open up Feeder. All right. Oh, and you know what? Steve Harris is the most active developer. I don't go more than an hour without him updating his apps. But I'll go ahead and uninstall the update because they never break anything, mostly. Wait, you got a Stream Deck, so looking for new games to put on it. You mean a Steam Deck, right? Not to be confused with a Stream Deck. So check this out. Have I showed you guys this before? If you go to Feeder, About Feeder, look what it says here. Thanks to Allison Sheridan for the use of her feed and screenshots and for being generally annoying. I love that. Makes me laugh every week. All right, so we're going to create a new 907, and we're going to take the show notes. I figure I'll keep entertaining you guys with what I do here. So let's see, I'm going to copy this. Actually, no, let's do a couple other things first. Let's put in, let's see, I'm going to use Text Expander to look for enclosure, and this is a NosillaCast blog post enclosure, and that's how the player gets in there. And then I'm going to send that to the blog. Actually, no. Preview, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this, and then I put that over in Feeder. And then I think what am I doing here? Yeah. Oh, when this is done, I can pull the file up. Oh, watch this. This is fun. I'm going to push a button on if this works. It often doesn't, but if this works, I'm going to push a button on my Stream Deck called Copy to Feeder, and watch this. Here it goes. Ready? Nope, didn't work that time. I don't know why, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But let's try it again. Let's see if we can do it again. Okay, Copy to Feeder. I think I need more of a delay. There it goes. So there's all the links in the show notes. So if I go to Preview, there's all the links in the show notes with that one button on my Stream Deck with a macro that I wrote in Keyboard Maestro. So I think that's kind of cool. Oh, that's right. Up here, I just typed the letter H. Go down here. I change that to a 7. And then I look here for Tim McCoy. I make sure that says the right month. And then next week, I will forget anyway. So when that is done, this one, when it gets there, will be, I type the letter H, go to the end, and I change it to 25. But that won't do anything until this is finished. The file won't be up there. iPad Air. Oh, free months of Arcade. I am still a solitaire girl, I got to tell you. Don't do much else other than that. All right, let's send this to the blog. NosillaCast, it's a podcast. Send it to the blog. Go over here to WordPress. And we'll work on this in the meantime. 2 amazing games. What do you like? Why did that go back to being a draft? Oh, come on. That shouldn't be a draft. That was published. Update. Garden Tales and Patterned. Let's add a featured image. And it's called Skyline. Solitaire in the Tesla. Actually, I wonder. All right, save draft. And we'll preview that. I'll have to take a look at those. I don't play many casual games. I literally play solitaire. I play solitaire when the news is on because it's too boring to listen to by itself or too terrifying, one or the other way. That's what you play whilst charging. So there's solitaire in the Tesla? I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Okay, so that's ready. So I am literally, oh, no, here it is. I know I've showed you guys this before, but I just love this. Look how uneven the audio was. And you can tell, so a bunch of this in the middle here is Ryan, and then it goes back to, then it's me and Bart, and it's all lumpy. This part up here is me. But then look how pretty that is, and it's all leveled, and all the levels that come up to the loudness standard. And then I download it, and that's just because I like to have a copy of my own. And then I've got another, I've got a Hazel script that moves it into a folder out of the downloads folder. So it should be there. So now, once that's shown here, that means it's also been FTP'd up to my server. So now I can go double check the file size. So I fetch attributes from web, and I'll come look over here when this is done downloading. It did seem to take a while. 79 megabytes. Well, oh yeah, they tell you don't play with your iPad. Let's see. So then I'll check here. See, yep, 79 megabytes on disk, 79 megabytes here. This is good to go. Save it to the feed. And I always pause right here. Like, is that really all I got to do? But I think I am done. Let's publish the post first. So now, make sure you're not looking at the draft. And don't look at this. And then look at the post. And hit play and see if you can hear it. Make sure you hear the right show.
Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, September 25th, 2020.
And it's the right show. That's what I check for to make sure I didn't do the wrong one. That means I can publish the feed, and publish we go. And in that fast, hit your phones right now. Check. You'll already have the podcast. You saw me just hit the upload. It'll be there. Oh, I think she's talking about she's talking about the fact that you have to play with the tablet. You have to play with the screen, Seamus. She's not talking about the gaming. So is the show there? Is it there already? Let's check it. Let's check it. Should be ready. We're ready? Is it there yet? Is it there yet? There it is. Isn't that amazing? I got it 10 minutes ago. That just blows me away that I literally hit publish. I see that thing goes zzz, and it's there. I mean, it's already in your podcatchers. And that's why when I find a mistake, it's a big fat problem because I can't fix it because it does it so fast. All right. Well, I think it is now time to end the show. You know what? Steve didn't tell me how to stop the show. I think maybe he did. He told me push the live streaming button. Ah, the cat knocked Kevin over again. All right. So I don't actually know how this works, but I'll run downstairs, pull the power cord. All right. Well, good night, Kevin, and good night, Rose. Mwah. And I think I'm going to push this live streaming button here. I think that's what I do. Maybe it says it in my instructions. Hang on. Pull out my 19-page document with screenshots here and see what it says. How do I stop? At the end. Stop the show. Here we go. Ready? Last step. Hit live streaming button to stop the video stream to YouTube. It should turn green. Are you ready? All right.